Good afternoon, I'm Jorge Enrique Calvo, and right now I'm gonna do a little explanation about the letter sent to the company Coca-Cola in the past activity. So mainly the letter was focused on how Coca-Cola produces so much waste at the at the basis of producing well all of their products, even if there is some redundancy on the expression. So it's mainly that. It's how to express all the disappointment you feel when one of the biggest companies in the world that also use a lot of the water in this world, a lot of the water that can be consumed, and most of this water usually is not recovered. I mean, they use it, and yes, they are packaged and processed to create the usually Coca-Cola brand refreshes and the bottled water and a lot of drinking stuff, but mainly all that water that's not used for it, all that water is wasted and it's contaminated with a lot of chemicals. Usually most of them are related to the packaging process, so some of them are used in that process and after that they're wasted, and they are not usually managed in a good way. Most of that water is usually sent back to the rivers and sent back to the fluvial zones where they came from. So it's not only the part when they produce a lot of waste with just the products and the packaging, but the water that's wasted also because it's contaminated water. It affects all the kind of environments and communities that are close to the fabrics. So yeah, that's mostly about it. Uh, in Colombia, some of the politics that, well, in the world, if we talk in a more general way, Coca-Cola is one of, yes, I mean it's one big company, but it's one of the few many that are have really implemented environmental practices. And yeah, even if they say they want to implement them, like they don't really go with it. Like most of the time, they just pay people to sign their environmental contracts to say, yeah, you are accomplishing everything that's you are meant to do about the environment, but they never do it. So yeah, they keep creating waste. So usually that some communities in Valle del Cauca and some communities in the Pacific coast, uh, mostly they they have presented documents where they talk about it, about how much waste they create and how their their ways of dealing with it. It's just like they act like it never happened, and there is some past stories with Coca-Cola in Latin America, like in the past century, in the 20s and 30s and 40s, there were stories about how they literally created paramilitary movements to silence the people who, mostly indigenous communities, were against the expansionists of their company. So, yeah, mostly that. So, thank you for hearing the explanation and all the basis about the letter. And yeah, thank you.